Hello, hello. We are here to do the water signs for mid-May. And you guys individually do have, oh, wow. Okay, I've pulled your cards and I have pulled the energy of the separate energies for each zodiac. Hi, Eddie. Welcome back. Now, you guys, I was talking to Giggle in my break. You guys have additional cards that have come through. So I did initially pull one for each zodiac sign. And I have the collective energy for your read, but then another 3 fell out, so you get an additional card for each zodiac. Now, your crowning energy, again, I'm seeing a lot of 1-1s, and it is about getting into kind of balance, the yin and the yang. This energy of what's coming up is really about a completing cycle with the 10. So you're having compassion with yourself. There's a lot of heart chakra activation. There's a lot of higher consciousness and out-of-body experience. It does feel like you guys are, you're determined in a sense of moving forward. Hi, Luciana. The frustration is with your zodiac sign, and each one of you does have an aspect at the moment in deep reflection. Now, for you guys, Cancer, at the moment we've had, and I knew it, the one that is the Cancerian is bloody calling me. I call him the boss hubby. So funny. Who are we doing first? So I'm going to do the overall energy, and then I'll do Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But I'm going to be bouncing off between all of what you guys are going through. Individually, Cancer will be having the energy of moving out of the nodes. So it's a little bit of a break at the moment, which is now quite... You guys have had 2.5 years of the nodes being in your zodiac sign. So for you guys individually, mid-May, moving forward into finalizing that karmic cycle, you do have another 2 months, but it will be major aspects. And most of you would have worked towards that goal regardless over the last 2.5 years. So at the moment, you can feel very fatigued. You can feel to the point where you're having compassion. You need to be gentle with yourself. Your crown chakra could be getting a lot of downloads. You may be deeply reflective, nostalgic, empathic, and very emotional. So if there's emotions coming up and down in you, it is perfectly normal. It's needing to be very gentle with yourself, needing to allow whatever's coming up. I feel you guys are doing it very privately. You're understanding and, maybe micromanaging an element of your healing at the moment, but you still are having compassion and respect to all involved, including yourself, but you're really needing to tap into thyself. So you guys are going to have the eclipse next month, but you're having a mini break. Now, Pisces, next month we have Neptune retrograding. So this directly will feel very unique for you because it falls into your first house placement. We also, all year, you may have been assessing your shadow energy, very dark night of the soul, very matter of fact, maybe tapping into some of your hopes and dreams. But with Black Moon Lilith being in your sign for the entire year, for you guys, it's a revisit of the shadow energy. And we do have both polarities in us. We've got the light and the dark, and it's looking at both elements and maybe even making peace with those subject matters. But for you guys, you'll find more this energy will amp up mid-month. You'll be sensing Neptune gearing up ready to go retrograde, and that directly will be hitting your sign as well, and you will be joining the rest of us. Scorpio, for you guys, you had the activation at the beginning of the month with the full moon in Scorpio, and you guys individually are tapping into your psyche, your intuition. Again, emotions can be running deep. You can be spiritually feeling very ebb and flow, positive, maybe putting on a brave front, but very superstitious, very, what's the word? And again, I feel fatigued energy. I do feel fatigued energy in general with most of the water signs, and that's due to the fact that there has been a lot going through your energy at the moment at a very physical level and very first house placement. Pluto also is retrograde, which does directly link to you. So I do feel from last month that energy was really playing out for you guys, and it has been quite heavy. Cancer does fall in your 9th house, so your spiritual beliefs, the wish to travel and things to that degree can be a little bit hindered at the moment. But that is going to be moving as well. Now, Gemini Gemini does fall in your 8th house, and old subject matters of maybe people that have passed away, endings and beginnings can be coming up for you. What does that mean? There can be aspects of codependency with all the signs that can be coming up, but it's more closing that cycle and realizing that it doesn't define you, and it doesn't mean you can't have that fresh beginning. So I'll get into the read and show you guys what has been coming up. And it's so ironic. I put the cards back in and the same cards have come out. So I feel this is very collective energy at the moment. Regressing back on what was balanced, what wasn't. Knowing in the past potentially things weren't that balanced, but definitely moving forward and wishing to have this kind of resilience about you of knowing that this balance is going to come through. Now, I have been seeing the Justice card quite a bit in my third eye. I've also been seeing with the 111, it does link back to the Justice card. Paperwork, finalising contracts, ending karmic cycles. That of what was imbalanced is being reflected upon. It doesn't mean to say we're recreating that cycle. We're very much ending the cycle. Moving forward, you may feel imbalanced, but you need to work on that balance. Be it you're doing something to nurture yourself, be it you're doing something to spend time and meditate. It is a temporary frequency. It's a recuperation frequency. And moving into next month, we are going to be having more retrogrades, but it's sort of this little pocket window that's giving us this reflective state. If we feel agitated, we do need to tap into our psyche and try and get as grounded as possible. I'm going to pull clarifiers as I go. So for all water signs at the moment, deep reflection on the past of what hasn't been balanced has been coming up. Okay, what are these energies for water sign flows? Okay, there might be some sense of communication that comes in relating to the past that triggers a memory of the past that can be coming up for you guys. And I feel this is direct communication. This can be to do with children, older children, again, because we are going to be having the eclipses in Cancer. There can be situations with family playing out, situations with hopes and dreams, and I really feel fence-sitting energy, and the fence-sitting energy is more from the perspective of some of these situations are out of our control. But you're really saying the truth, you're understanding compassionately, and you're trying to be quite rational when it does come to making decisions. Moving forward, again, you're looking at maybe not having as much. Now, the lack mentality, I'm going to pull a chakra card, although the green's coming up, there is, again, a lot of healing. Now, with the green energy coming through, for Cancer, how this directly will affect you in your health domain, we do have Jupiter going retrograde. So you might have had some wins and some things coming through, and if you haven't yet, yes, you will. Your health will benefit if you don't run yourself ragged. So your hopes and dreams could be the energy of really pushing things uphill to a point that, you know, sometimes you don't have to work so hard. And that can be a real theme that's coming through. It's working smart, not working hard. The assessment of some of those dreams you were pouring and siphoning a lot of energy into is coming up for assessment. And collectively, the water signs will be doing this, but I'll tap into that when I get to the zodiac signs. I'll continue back to the road. Now, you're really repelling. The strength that's coming back is purging toxicity. No longer allowing people, you know, you do have this temptation energy, and it could be due to the fact you're triggered, but I do feel somebody is siphoning your energy and trying to manipulate you. It could also be guilt, memories, triggers that can come up that can actually do this, and you could be doing it to yourself, or it could be an external scenario that is playing out. With Tiger Eye, I do feel this is deep psychic protection. So any hopes and dreams you have, anything you're moving towards, I feel more you're protecting yourself. And again, you're trying to be more balanced with your approach. I do feel in general, you do have a lot of faith in a romantic interest or a direct path that you're choosing to move on. And you've got your crown chakra activated. You know what is and what isn't balanced. And you're trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and all the work you've done. You know, you've got to understand that this deserving energy is within your power to choose healthier situations, but put faith into yourself that you have the strength to be able to achieve this. all this balance that you haven't had, and everything you're working towards is to create this balance, especially with that Jupiter energy. Now, reflecting back, you guys might have poured a lot of energy into scenarios. And it does make sense because we have had the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn. So both of those elements really had suffered. Your shadow sign, for those of you that are Cancer, is Capricorn. So in your work domain, in your finances, there was a lot of cleaning up of cycles. It doesn't necessarily mean that you weren't doing the right thing. It might have been you were doing all the right things with all the wrong people. So at a financial level, this might have been very testing, but there is going to be a benefit coming back from the past, and all of this hard work that you've put in, it's your spiritual abundance, and that's really what you're deeply surprised by. You're not willing to sell your soul matter-of-factly to the devil, and be a slave and a cog in the wheel. You're really wanting to turn over that new leaf, and you've been working really hard on that. So I'm finding with this abundance, there also could be some things that you guys do find. The surprise has been that during this process of what we've been going through in the collective is that you've really been able to deeply see where you have been siphoning your energy. And I just keep hearing siphoning of energy. And it's been stifling, and it's for all the water signs. Applying your energy to different things that feel more spiritual based. And when we say spiritual based, it doesn't mean to say you need to be a Buddhist or a Christian or anything to that degree. It's doing things that are very calming and soothing and enjoyable to you that potentially don't have to entail money, but they can be hobbies and things to that degree. Even the quiet time of you recouping, because I'm not feeling this to be an ill energy. I feel it's more you have been in awareness now of what does bring you happiness and what doesn't. Now, this is complete alignment you're moving into by the end of the month. And I do feel you do have a person who has passed over with the Ascended Masters on this energy card. They may have been very connected into amethyst and crystals, or they might have been a very spiritual guru or religious. They're assisting with your spiritual transformation. This is a loved one who's passed over. It's one of your guides. They know that you guys have been really struggling, but you've been leveling up. You've been working on yourself. You've been leveling up. You've been doing the best you can within your capacity. And it has been to walk away from adversity and dramas and to create a stable foundation for your future. Now, overall, your heart is going to heal as we proceed forward into June. I do feel at the moment you're deeply reflecting upon healing at the moment, and you do have the turquoise energy, which to me, I'm sensing throat chakra, but also third eye energy. Your perspective and the way you see things, both within relationships, your career sector, and I just feel whatever pastime you're doing at the moment, be it that you're directly working or you're in a relationship, you are physically and spiritually maybe putting a bit of poker face up at the moment, but it's more to do this deep internal reflection. Now, let's see what this is about. This is interesting. Bit of a secondary story. Whatever was really testing on you. Now, because your sign, Cancer is linking in with family, tribe, feminine energies, mother energies. There's healing happening here. Pluto is grandmother, and I'm just saying that whatever this is, be it it's a family situation, because this is overall for the water signs, there might have been some family conditioning, or there might have been some situations playing out that these lessons weren't being learnt, but you're not missing this. You maybe wish things could have been different. You had wanted or still want to bring something full circle. And you're hoping that there can be healing here, but you're trying to meditate upon how that could be. Now, I'm going to have to go separately into the read per zodiac, I feel, because each of you are getting different messages. Now, the outcome is something from the past you're wishing to transform. And I'm seeing a lot of heart chakra. I do feel a lot of weeping. It could be emotions or triggers or feelings. It could be deep or it could be nostalgic. Now, for those of you that are Cancer, your crowning energy, the challenge has been is that potentially you had put other people ahead of you. This has been going on for a long time. And with the number 8, it does come down to the 8th house, which does link into Scorpio because we have Pluto retrograde. It's been going on a long time. It's also connected to births, deaths, endings. So it's this regeneration cycle that's going through with you guys, that you're attempting to walk your truth. You're having faith in the universe. You're having faith in yourself. And very much this faith energy was coming through overall for the water signs in general. Now, this does link into what you feel your physical path is. And this did come up in the previous read. So you might be linking into an air sign in some shape or form, or there could be cross references between the both. Again, this breaks down to when I do feel either January, February, March, April, May. Between now and July, I do feel something linking in with 8 energy is pretty important, and I do feel it's because the eclipses either side are going to be occurring then. I'm going to pull a clarifier. Where's my deck? There it is. Yeah, you're wanting an ending of cycle. This is about an ending of cycle, coming to terms with it, understanding how to recreate, understanding how to rejig that cycle, and, looking at different ways our faith tested us and pushed us, but there's something that you've let go of, and that is because it's old. You're wanting something new. It's all this old energy could be coming up. Some of these things can be coming up in a very karmic way, that you need to deal with contracts, partnerships, etc. This could be a lot of communication occurring. You don't want the drama. You got Psi in reverse, and this could be really because maybe there's no solution, but it feels it took a lot of your happiness, whatever this is. All of this is past tense energy. I'm going to pull a card for future, moving forward, because it does feel quite stuck, but it does feel it's a process you're physically going through. Yeah, you're really flying through it. You haven't had enough time, but it's all coming at you at once. So if you have been pretty busy, this change is going to come whether you're busy or not. It's going to come full 360. There is something, and with the tree, it's in reverse. This could be a connection of the past that hurt you, or that even your childhood, but there's something clinking with family that is in the reverse, and the change, maybe the change didn't happen, maybe you're still trying to work on what that change is, but there's change happening nevertheless. Let me have a look at your astrology. Cancer. Well, it's going to be first house placement. Scorpio hit your luck zone, and you could be doing purging, relating in with children, relating in with your luck. Again, all this movement and hard work has made you guys very fatigued. Your relationship sector also, for the last 2.5 years and prior to that, has been pretty iffy because you've had Capricorn in your 7th house. So it more felt a very, in previous times gone by, you may have felt that the way the relationships kind of hand dealt to you was a very karmic way of having a connection. It could have felt very professional or mutually beneficial with the Capricorn frequency there. But there can be legalities linking in with that as Juno goes direct. Now, Juno does fall in your 4th house. Again, spiritually speaking, marriages, contracts, partnerships, and all shapes of form. So it can be your career, it can be, especially with Venus and Gemini at the moment, all of these things are under the microscope, and the Scorpio moon kicked off to really help us dig deep. So at a spiritual level, this can be very exhausting. But I'm seeing with Aquarius in the 8th house for you, you're looking at the reality that something needs to come to an end. And the 5 energy does relate to that. So I am feeling you're moving into alignment energy, which is for all water signs. This is what's occurring between now and the end of the month. And it's to avoid more disasters. It's to really not Abraham Hicks swim up rapid. It's you going with the flow with it. But you can be keeping your cards very close to your chest at the moment. You do know where you want to go. You're on path. You're on point. Even if you're not seeing doors and roads open, your spiritual alignment does directly manifest this. Now, for those of you that are Pisces, you're having to be extremely patient. And this, you've learnt the art of patience. I did mention this in the air sign. I hated the term patience. Patience is a virtue, my mother says. She's a Pisces. Okay, at an abundance level, at a spiritual level, I feel some of your hopes and dreams, you're having a lot of patience. Some of you are very worried that some of these hopes and dreams may not come full 360. And again, remember, I did mention Pisces. We have had Black Moon Lilith in your zodiac sign. So for you guys individually, there might be a bit of shadow work that's coming up. It doesn't mean it's not moving. A lot of the work that you're doing is to bring the consistency in. And for me, what's coming through is you're really ready for a partner, be it as a person from the past or somebody that you're currently with. You're wanting this consistency to flow through. You're also wanting to have something in common with them and to have the direct communication, to have it flowing. You're wanting to move towards more happier times and less drama. But there is a trigger here because something in a sense of a wound is coming up. And I am feeling pick for love, not for money. That's what I'm hearing. Why is that coming up for you guys? I do feel these delusional energies of inabilities to create dreams could be coming up because we do have Black Moon Lilith and Pisces, but we also do have the frequency of Neptune next month going retrograde. So for some of you, you might be feeling you can't achieve these things unless things in love are balanced. And so some of these challenges can be coming through that can be triggering you. Some of you may be in a connection and not working, but your partner might be working, and that's causing conflict for those of you that are in a connection. But I do feel it's going to balance out. It is all water signs in some shape and form are going to have an element of quiet time. So even if you've got a lot of people around, they might have to go out or they might be working or you might just feel very distant. It's because there's a lot of psychology coming through at the moment with the water signs. Everything is going to balance out, but you need to dive in. The internal abundance, once you flick that switch, everything's coming towards you and it's balancing out. But I do feel you guys emotionally are sort of going into the psyche and really honing in on what your hopes and dreams are. You know, where do you want to go from here? Why is this coming up for you? But just take the time. Don't micromanage it. Allow it to flow through to you. For those of you that are Scorpio, awakening, you feel somebody isn't awake. This can even feel like you're very tired. This can feel like you're going backwards. And again, because we have Pluto retrograde and it can link into you, we are looking at the fact that you are going through a 360 transformation. So some of this, you're none the wiser. You're like, this is this big shift where you're changing. You almost can't see her face. And it is in reverse. So I'm seeing as though there's something in you that shifted. Some of you are going from the point of being extremely tired to wide awake, but I'm feeling more fatigued than anything. Lack of motivation, very fatigued, a bit sluggish. I do feel a detox is needed, but you're going through this transformation, so you can be having some ascension symptoms at the moment. This, in a sense, if you're tuning into a love interest, I do feel in detachment is where this comes, because you have no control over this process. But both masculine and feminine energies, be it you're a water sign or any other, both of us in the whole community not just twin flames, we are going through a very unique transformation. We have Jupiter retrograde, which can connect them with masculines. Mars will be going retrograde further down the track. We're going to be having Aries in Chiron next month retrograding. So there's these Mars Jupiter energies with masculines that are going through a transformative state. And with the eclipse cycle, the empath energy of feminines is going to be shifting too. Juno goes direct the end of this month, and that's where some of these energies are going to lighten off. Away from the ego you believe. But the distortion of, because we do have Black Moon Lilith there in Pisces, for you guys, Scorpio, it's your, okay, so Pisces in your 5th house, you guys may be feeling not so lucky at the moment. There could be things coming up with children. There could be things relating in with children. Again, your inner child. But your health energy directly links into Aries. So it's funny that I mentioned Aries for you guys. You might be really tuning into love interests and how they feel. It can be affecting you though. You know, maybe a bit of, you're in a little bit of war with yourself, because with the Scorpio energy, it can be very psychic and it can be very superstitious energy. But you need to understand that everything that you're going through right now, and I'm seeing a lot of red energy, so there's something relating into home, a foundation, a family. If that's possible, how can we balance these energies out? You're looking to the past, but you're being pulled into the future. So it's like you're having a spiritual walk-in and you're having this energetic upgrade. So it does feel very uncomfortable through that process. There you go. You're having a soul walk-in. I told you. Out with the old and with the new. Be kind to yourself. Okay, if you're feeling, as you shift, it's so funny because dual energy always does happen this way. Anywhere you felt stuck is where the blockage in you spiritually is so heavy that you do feel like you're in the hangman position. So it's funny that we have the awakening in reverse. We have a dissension and the ascension. So we can come across, if we're in a spiritual connection and you're quite telepathic, you can be a bit paranoid about maybe this person hasn't transformed, maybe this person can't evolve. Again, the dissension energy is fatiguing. Plus, you do find in astrology when the planets are retrograde, so it does hit certain chakra systems. So you in general feel quite tired. That's changing though, and I do feel as Juno goes direct, it's going to lighten off, but you do need to get the balance energy and be accepting of where this story is actually taking you. But I'm not feeling it to be bad. I just feel it's a bit of a blockage. Don't be surprised again if you're having lower back energies coming up and heart chakra activation, because you're moving into a new chapter. So it's usually all the negative energy comes, and then in detachment, you're so exhausted, you're like, it'll be, and then it happens, okay? Any questions for those of you in the house? What have you said, Robin? I'm at work, so I can't stay much longer. Time, energy, and I was going to mention this the other day, with anything, when we say divine timing, you will revoke that at some point, only because in manifestation, it's not even manifestation, alignment energy comes down to releasing, right? Alignment energy comes down to releasing. Even when you're healing and you get mad at yourself and you're saying something's coming up, disconnect from micromanaging how long that takes. It actually shortens it. It does the polar opposite. And that's from my experience. That's what I've actually tuned into over my process of my awakening. I would get very angry at myself and I'd hear the term inner reading divine timing. And I'd be going, sod divine timing. Then I would get triggered by how long is this going to be. I would tune into my spiritual process and look into counterparts' process and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to be here forever. If anything, I was being critical towards self because that took a long time. So you can actually shorten time by tuning out of time. When we're saying it takes too long, we're extending time. It's going to take too long. You're also tuning into their work, so you're allowing that frequency of cycle to grow. When you think of what they need to do and how long it would take and what they've got to do, they need to do this, tune into what you need to be doing, because it affects your psyche, it affects your ascension process, and it's a fixation on it. You've got to understand, think back to a stalker. We've all had one, right? What was that like? Was it to the point you felt they needed to get a life? Was it to the point, and I'm not meaning this in a horrible way, if you do not have an attraction to a particular individual, and any which way, feel that frequency. That's what I'm trying to say. So in that frequency, it does not become appealing or attractive if they can sense that vibration. But if you're moving into having the most high vibration life, who would not want you? Everybody would. They're like, wow, this person is high on life. They have fun. They love their life. They're doing all the things that, and then be it you've got a person in your life or you don't, you're always at that high vibe level. And it's the most alluring and manifesting energy you can get. Yeah, and detachment does help align them. You do tend to find that, especially when you're finding snags in the road and things are blocked. When you're tuning into it, I tried that. Librans do that. I mean, they've literally thought through every which way a scenario can go, only to find that they've played it out and there's no solution. They all seem horrendous. So no sooner does the Libra release, does everything fall into place. Sometimes you don't have to do anything at all, but you're going to be in your ego, meditating, thinking, manipulating, playing chess, and then you go, oh, I'm so tired, dissension energy, let it go. Then movement happens. I'll be back shortly. Love and light.